And I'm gonna have to pull a control beer. Jesus, I'm gonna be wrecked by the time we're done. Give me a second. Control beer. The nice thing is, this is going into this, which has a sleeve that'll temperature control it for me. So I'm good with that. You go in there. You go in there. There we go. Looks like a glass of beer, right? That looks like a nice glass of beer. That looks like a nice glass of beer. That also looks like a nice glass of beer. Let's get some temps. We have 38 on the Sempli. We have 38 on the Teku. We have 38 on the Luigi, and we're off by 1 or 2 ticks, 38.3, 38.5, somewhere in there. And we have 39.440. We have 39.740 on the elevated craft. That's because it's a thicker glass and it's a heat transfer issue. So, you know what? Let's start with the Teku. It's pretty, she laces well. Nice color. We gave her an 8 in the beer review. We're not going to do heads because we're really just testing glasses, so let's get that binometer in there and see what's going on. Yeah, same as before. I'm not really pulling anything off the nose. There's just that very, very light malt nose. Let's see what Luigi has to say. Luigi is lacing for us, though. Thank you, Luigi. Same. If anything, maybe a bit more of the malt. It's that caramel malt that's really popping up. Lightly sweet. Do we want to go here? Or do we want to go here? Well, we're going to go here because we've already done it with this one, and that was the disappointing thing, was we didn't get the nose we wanted. Those two show the same nose. Okay, the Teku and the Sempli are both showing literally the same lack of a nose, I should say. This is going to sound really odd because by no way should it even be involved in this. Pepperoni pizza. I'm getting I don't know, did I drink this with a pepperoni pizza in California or something? But I'm getting a pepperoni pizza thing popping in my head when I smell this. It's pepperoni pizza, pepperoni pizza, pepperoni pizza. I don't even like pepperoni pizza. And this one doesn't give me that. So the Luigi gives me the malt stuff, which is why when we were doing the glassware video, I was saying I tend to like the Luigi better. But there is a caveat. Some beers do better in the Luigi. Some beers do better in the Teku. I haven't drank enough IPAs out of this because this gets put back in the box and put back in the closet because it's friggin' expensive. But let's slip her the tongue first because she's got a shape like that. Be a cad if you didn't. Oh. It's a good beer, especially at this temperature. And the mouthfeel is exactly as we described before. It's soft palate and intradental. all the way back on the tongue till it hits the back of the throat, and then she lightly bitters, but she's cold. What will you be showing us? And of this glass, we get virtually the same thing. We do get a bit of leakage out into the buccals and the sublinguals, just because of the way it hits the tongue differently than that glass does. Still, all in all, good beer. Still, all in all, pepperoni pizza. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. It's definitely not from all the drugs I did when I was younger. That was 40, 50 years ago, man. Again, this one presents breadier, not breadier, but it presents the malt. And I'm not talking a heavy malt nose, like a 1.5, 2 out of 10. But at least this one presents that sweet kind of malt nose. Slip of the tongue. Now this one, when you drink out of her, all soft palate, intradental, straight to the back, but fuller and richer, and only the tip of the tongue is involved. That one just drinks like regular beer glass. Soft palate, extra, buccal, no tongue, no sublingual, right to the back. Fuller and richer again. So these two tend to focus the beer in a slightly thinner style, whereas these two, so the Teku and the Sempli, tend to wind up giving the beer a slightly thinner profile, whereas the Luigi and the Elevated Craft give her a wider profile. I don't know why, man. Like, I'm not just a beer scientist. But I just call them like I see them. So we're going to pause, and I'm going to let them warm up considerably. We're not doing 6 degrees. We're going to do 10, 12, 15 degrees. And then we'll come back, and we'll take a look at all 3 again. Well, 4 again. And see what the differences are. All right? I hope you guys are finding this at least interesting. We'll be right back. All right, we're wrapping it up. I'm hungry, and we're done. And it's like 7:15, okay? It's time for dinner. So let's see what we got. $56. Also $56. 52, 56. So the Luigi is the coldest at 52. I don't know, it doesn't seem like the glass density is that different. It's probably due to the deeper shape in the bowl. That would be my guess. So let's start with the Luigi. Let's get the nose. At least the nose opened up. I'm getting the hops blended in with the malts. Nice. Let's slip it a tongue. Nice, good mouthfeel. Again, we've got soft palate, intradentals, leakage out into the buccals. The tongue cuts off at the very tip. She still rides all the way into the back, goes straight down. Not overly bitter for a 51. She's actually really, really mild. And the nose has gotten better. Let's see what the Teku is going to show us. She was a couple of degrees warmer, so let's find out. The nose is opened up, but not as much as the Luigi. Still, very pleasant. She's sweetened up, and I'm not getting pepperoni pizza for a change, thank you. Let's get these glasses off since we don't need them anymore. Mouthfeel on this is different. Mouthfeel on this is soft palate, but we have a lot more leakage up to the buccals. We still have half the tongue. And the flavor profile is more bitter. She presents as more bitter. All right, let us take a look at the Sempli IBU. Scroll. Sort of a toss-up between the Luigi and the Teku. Mouthfeel is there. It's just the very tip of the tongue. A lot of soft palate involvement, but not much in the intradentals. Nothing leaks out into the buccals. There's nothing sublingual. She goes right to the back. And she bitters. But again, she bitters well within the tolerance range. All of these beers are dirty, by the way, just so you know. We haven't mentioned it, but they were all dirty. Let's take a look at the control. Neighbor's cats in my backyard. And so the Elevated Craft, much nicer mouthfeel. She's not even an IPA glass. Much nicer mouthfeel. Soft palate, intradentals, buccals, and about half tongue. She is slower to get to the back of the throat than the other three. And while they're all dirty, she's less bitter. I just call them like I see them, my friends. So that's what we're looking at. They're beer glasses. Drink the beer glass you like. They're all good glasses. They all work well. But it just goes to show, you know, even with the same beer in each glass, the shape of the glass, the function of the glass, the temperature of the beer, all combined to give you a slightly different experience. So, depending on how you like to drink your beer, and whether or not you're as bad as I am when it comes to the OCD, ADD, LMNOP, whatever, take your time, experiment, find what you like to do. I forget it's glass all the time. Just because it's a good all-around solid glass, and for this beer, it actually worked out really well. Go figure. The high-end testers, well, I favor the Luigi. The Teku still comes in really nice, but of the two, this is the one I tend to use the most because it tends to work better for a larger variety of styles. And this one, again, the Sempli, only came out because we did a glassware video today. And while they're absolutely beautiful glasses, and we have used the Pils glass before, I don't drink out of the pint, although I want to take a look at it at some point. I usually just keep them boxing in the closet because they're expensive and I don't feel like replacing them. Yeah, so they all work. They all do different things for different styles. But on a comparison, my favorite glass, I use it all the time. My favorite taster, the Luigi, for different styles. If I'm going to look at something new and I want to take a different kind of look at it, although you've been here, you've seen everything we've imbibed of lately have either come out of the Beer and Gear Pils glass, the big tall glass that basically works for Pilses, wheats, lagers. It's that long, thin shape. Works really well for all of those. Or I've done a lot of fallback work to that porter and stout glass, which will double as an IPA glass because they're virtually the same shape. That also works really well. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll start shifting up the glassware and see what I got for you. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for spending some time with me. I appreciate it. And this was just a lark, a one-off. Why the hell not, since we already had everything out. And, well, you know, the more information you have, the better off you are in the long run. So, thanks for coming by. Put some eyeballs on. You know you my people. Love you. Big three, my friends. Happy, healthy, safe, honorable, dutiful, vigilant, gray man. Hit us over hot and handy, which comes with its own laundry list of responsibilities. You need to be responsible for those. And I will catch you on the, well, I'll catch you for another drink along. This is just a one-off video, so we'll throw it up there. We'll let people decide whether or not they like it. What the hell, why not? All right, my friends, until next time, we're going to finish this beer, Skal. Leaves me with these, which are going in here. Well, mostly in there, with that left over. Salute. I need to put some food in the machine now, so I used to have a beer to wash down the sandwich with. Ooh, there it is. I knew that was coming. Excuse me. And I will catch you on the next one. Until then, be well, my friends.